Hi, in this lecture we are going to discuss some problems that can be solved using list. So the first problem is you are going to be given n integers in a sequence S, okay, and for each number n1 at position P in S, we are going to print S if the following conditions are satisfied. Okay, the first condition is average of numbers in the sequence S at positions 1 to P minus 1 should be less than n1. Actually n1 is the number at position P, all the numbers before that is what is meant by 1 to P minus 1. Okay, here I have given the human interpretation of index. So from 1 to P minus 1 you have to sum all the elements, find the average, and if n1 is less than, this average is less than n1 means, so n1 should be greater than the average and it should be less than, n1 should be less than the average of the numbers that follow it, that comes after the number n1 in the sequence. So average of numbers in S at position P1 to n. Okay, we have to take the average and that should be greater than n1, right, which means that n1 should be less than that particular average. Okay, and you are going to print no, you are going to print yes if both these conditions are satisfied, and you are going to print no otherwise. So when you look at the PSE for the problem, input is going to be the number of elements in the sequence and the elements in the sequence, and you are going to print yes if conditions are satisfied and no otherwise. So the concepts involved are you have to know how to store a sequence of elements and find average of subsequences. And you can see now we will consider an example where there are 5 elements, okay, and they are 2, 4, 1, 6, 12. So when I store it in a list, already we have discussed about list in theory, which is in Python, which can help you to store a sequence of elements. Okay, let us use list. We know that by default the index is from 0, it will go up to n minus 1. Totally here there are 5 elements. So the list index goes from 0 to 4 and the elements are stored like this. Now what you want actually is you have to compare the element. We have to start from the first element. So when you look at the first element, it should be greater than elements occurring before it. When you look at the elements occurring before it, nothing is occurring before it. So we can think like average is 0. When you look at 2, 2 is greater than 0. Okay. So first condition is satisfied. Next you have to see the average of the numbers that are occurring after it. So when you find the average of 4, 1, 6, 12, it is going to be 5.75. Okay. And this is less than, 2 is less than this 5.75. So we should print yes for this condition. And next you see 4, we have to consider the element 4. In this sequence the element that is occurring before it is 2, average is 2, right. So this 4 is greater than 2, average 2, and when you take the average of the numbers that follow it, it is 6.33. So this 4 is less than 6.33, so we have to print yes. Next we have to consider the element 1. When you take 1, what will happen is average of the elements that are occurring before it will be 3, 2 plus 4 by 2, okay. So 6 by 2 will be 3. When you consider this 1, actually it is not greater than the average of the elements occurring before it. So for this we will have to print no, right. And when you look at the next element 6, when you have to take the average of the elements that are occurring before it, that average is 2.33. So 6 is greater than 2.33, first condition satisfied. Next you have to see the second condition, element that is occurring after that is only one element 12. So the average is 12 and 6 is less than 12. So we have to print yes. Now consider the last element. For last element there is no next element, right. So that we need not do a comparison at all. We have to only compare whether this number is greater than the elements, average of the elements that occurs before it. So when you look at it, 12 is greater than average of those elements are 3.25, so we have to print yes. Okay. Right. So now let us write the algorithm for solving this problem. The first step is we have to read the number of elements n. Okay, and then you have to initialize a sequence, and then you have to repeat steps 4 to 5 for n times. What we are doing in 4 is read x. X is the element in the sequence, so we have to add the element to the sequence, right? After forming the sequence, these steps will form the sequence. After forming the sequence, for position p, okay, we have to start p from 0 to n minus 1. So for position p from 0 to n minus 1, we are going to repeat steps 7 to 9. So what does 7 says? Compute before. Before is going to be the average of elements at positions 0 to p minus 1, and after is going to be the average of elements at positions p plus 1 to n minus 1. We are going to compute before and after. After that, we are going to check whether the element at position p is greater than before and less than after. If these two conditions are satisfied, then we are going to print as, otherwise we are going to print no. Okay, this is the algorithm. Let us see the implementation of the algorithm in Python. Yeah, so first thing is you have to read the number of elements from the user, and then you have to initialize the sequence. Let us call the sequence as L. So I am initializing L to be equal to the empty list, and then you are going to repeat for I in range 0, n. We are going to repeat. What we are going to do? We are going to read the value of x from the user. So int of input. Let us assume that we are going to have only integers as elements. So x is equal to int of input. After that, you have to add to the sequence. How we are going to add is, we are going to use the append function. So append function will add the element to the end of the list. Okay. So one by one will be coming and adding to the end. After that, now the sequence is built. Now we have to start for each element, right, in the list. So range, what we are going to do is, we are going to go only up to the last but one element. We are not now going to consider the last element in this sequence, because there we have to consider only the before. We need not find the after. Okay, because nothing is there. Average of the elements which come after the sequence, after the particular element in the sequences, nothing is there. So it may create some division error, a division by 0 error. So we are going to write it separately. So in the range I have mentioned like 0 to n minus 1, and we know that range will consider only, it will generate the sequence from 0 to this minus 1, what we have given here. I have given here n minus 1 means it will generate only elements from 0 to n minus 2. Okay. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to calculate before. So how will you calculate before is, there is a built-in function sum. Okay, if you pass a list to sum, let us see it on the terminal. So if I am going to pass a element, pass a list to sum, it will return me the sum of the elements in it. I can also pass the partial list into that. Okay, so you can see L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can say sum of L of 0 colon 2 or 3. When I say 0 colon 3, I mean I consider element at index 0, 1, 2. At index 0 you have 1, at index 1 you have 2 and 3, right? Like this we can also see use for finding sum of partial list, right? So I am going to use that feature here for calculating the sum of the elements, right? So sum of L of, I am going to start from 0 and I will be going up to I minus 1. right? And when I want to divide, I am going to divide it by the number of elements that were above, right? So that will be actually I. Okay, that will be actually I or I plus 1. Okay, it will be I plus 1. It will be I plus 1. So because we can just understand, when I am at 0, right, when I am at the 0th index, the number of elements is going to, above that it is going to be 0, but when I am at index 1, we have to consider elements above that is 1, right? Is it fine? Yeah, I think then yes, I is okay, I think. Yeah, I, it should be I only. Yeah, then we are going to compute after. How will you compute after? Sum of, you have to consider the sequence which comes after the position I, right? So I should say I plus 1, and we have to go up to the last. Okay, so it's, you are going to start from the I plus 1 term and you are going to go till the last. So we will not give the end index, then automatically it will go up to the last. Then when you want to divide, you have to divide it by n minus I minus 1. Okay, so this is how you will calculate the average of the elements that come after the sequence, right? And what you are going to do here is, you are going to compare now. If L of I is greater than before and L of I is less than after, then you will print yes. Else you will print no. And for the last element we have to do it separately, right? So let us calculate before, there won't be after. For that we are calculating before alone, right? So before will be sum of L of 0 to n minus 1, right, divided by n minus 1. Okay, and then you will compare only this. If L of I is greater than before, then you are going to print S, otherwise you will print, so I have to put else, you will print no. Yeah, so we can execute the code and check. So let us consider the example what we were saying. There are 5 elements. First element is 2, 4, 1, 6, 12. Okay, okay, should be I plus 1, I think. Yeah, so it should be I plus 1. Okay, or else it should be it is I, and it should be separately written for 0, right? So let us do that. For the first element we will have only after, you will not have before, isn't it? So after will be equal to, for the first element you will have from L of 1 to the end, right, divided by n minus 1, and you are going to check if L of 0 is less than S after, then you will print yes, otherwise I will print no. Hope this works. Yeah. So we can see the desired result is got. What we were getting? First we should print yes. Next one also we should print yes. For one alone you will get no, and for the rest of the things you will get yes. Right. This is how list can be used when you are going to have some sequence of elements and you have to process it. Right. So next what we are going to discuss is a problem which is having a list of, like, you will have correlation between list as well as string. So let us read the problem. Now in this problem we are going to have a sentence. Okay. So in this sentence we are going to call the sentence as palindrome if the ith word in the sentence. Okay. So you're already familiar with the concept of palindrome. That is, palindrome is related to words where we will say the first and the last letters are same, second and the last before thing are same, and so on, right? Or we can say that the word will be same as the reverse of it, right? That's what is palindrome. But logically we have to check the characters from the first, right? Here we are going to have a special definition for a sentence that's called palindrome, in which the similar concept, right? The first and the last word, if you consider, the first word will be the reverse of the last word, second word will be the reverse of the previous word, and so on, right? So we can in general say the ith word in the sentence will be reverse of the n minus ith word in the sentence, where n is the total number of words in the sentence. So the example here given is the house is, I have just reversed the house word, right? I do not know how to pronounce it. Similarly, this is the reverse of the word, right? Now we are calling this is palindrome. Now when you look at the PSE, the input is going to be a sentence, and you have to print yes if the sentence is palindrome and no otherwise. So when you look at the concepts involved, first thing is you have to know how to split the sentence into words. You have to iterate through the words and find reverse of the word. These are all the concepts that are involved. So example, if you consider this one, yes, here code is, this is having 5 words, odd number of words. You have to check first and last, second and fourth. This one we can leave it. Similarly, when you look at here, first and last, second and third should be checked. In this also, yes, coding is interesting. Here it is not in that palindrome form, so no. Okay. So now we will see the algorithm for this problem. So when we look at the algorithm, you have to read the sentence from the user and then split the sentence into words and store it in a sequence. And now find the number of words in the sentence, and you are going to say let I equal to 0 and mid is equal to integer division of n by 2. N is the number of words, so you are doing integer division of n by 2 and storing it in mid. And then while I is less than mid, repeat step 6 to step to 6 to 7. Okay, that is missing. Here it should be 7. Repeat step 6 to 7, where in 6 you are checking if word I is not reverse of. Now this is like not. Okay, if it is not, then we are going to print no and we are going to break the loop. That is the idea. If it is not reverse, then we are going to print no and we are going to break the loop. Otherwise, what you are going to do is you are going to increment I and you are going to continue the loop. Okay, and when you come to step 8, you are finding out whether the loop break. If the loop did not break, then you are going to print yes and stop. This is the idea of the algorithm. Let us implement this in Python. So the first step is you have to read a sentence. Reading a sentence is same as reading a string. There is no difference in Python. It allows you to give space, everything. It is not like other languages where you have to do something different. You can just read a sentence like this and then you have to split it, right? So for splitting, there is a function split. Using it you can split the sentence, right? And you have to find the number of words in that. Okay, so we can say like n is equal to number of words I can find by len of l minus l underscore hyphen, and then you are going to say I equal to 0, that's not required. I have to find what is mid. Mid is equal to n integer division 2, right? Then what we are doing is for I in range 0 comma mid, I will go only up to mid minus 1, that is more than enough. See, when you are having 5 words, I have to consider only the first and the second word, which will be at position 0 and 1. So integer division of 5 by 2 will be 2. So it is enough, I have to go up to 1. So it's right to say range of 0 comma mid. Okay. So now I have to check if, right, if this or else what I can do is I can say r is equal to, I can write a function now to find the reverse of l underscore sentence of I. I am going to find the reverse of that particular word and store it in r. I am just going to check whether they are equal, whether this particular word is equal to the reverse of the word. Okay, if it is not equal, then what I am going to do? If it is not equal, then immediately I will say no, and I can break the loop. Okay, if it is equal, then it will be continuing, and what I can do is I can write a else for. In Python we can write a else for. When this else part will work as when the loop was not broken, when it is a normal exit. Okay, so when it is a normal exit and the loop was not broken, means we can understand that all the words were in proper condition. That is, the first word was reverse of the last one, second was reverse of the previous one, and so on, right? So it is a palindrome sentence, so you can print yes, done. But I have to write a function for now reversing the string. So now consider this reverse function where I will pass a string. It is very interesting to do reverse in Python. Okay, it is very simple. Yes, we will use the concept of slicing, colon. You can have a third argument for slicing also, that is step. Okay, when I am going to ignore the or not specify the first value for slicing, and it means that it will start from the beginning. When I am not going to specify the second one, then it means that slicing will happen till the last character. And if I am going to give -1, then automatically it will reverse. Okay, -1 actually you can give step value for slicing, right? So when you are going to give us -1, it will understand that it has to reverse the string, and now I will return. Reversing is very simple in Python. You have to just say the string colon then -1. When you give -1 as the step value, automatically slicing will reverse. Okay, fine. Now I am going to give the input and check. So let us consider the examples that we were discussing. We will give this one. Okay. Sorry. So it was like send dot imp. This is the problem. The sentence you have read, send dot split. Yeah, okay. This is rightly written. Can just print the reverse string and check. EHT, okay. No, immediately. Why? It is not equal to R. Okay, L of O, reverse. Okay, O should be S of colon colon minus 1 is the reverse. Reverse of that will be equal to, sorry, here is the mistake. I should not compare with that particular word. I should compare it with the last word. So it should be n minus I. That is, ith word should be compared with the n minus ith word. Hope. Okay, so this should be I minus 1 because the index starts from 0. In programmatic thing, the index starts from 0. So it should be n minus I minus 1. Yes. So let us remove this, print. Fine. Let us give the next sentence. Now the last one. Okay, it should say no because this is not a PAL palindrome string, whereas this is a even length PAL palindrome string. This is a odd length PAL palindrome string. Okay, so works for all the conditions. So we will see one more problem in the next lecture about list and how to work in Python. Thank you.